they did the Windsor autopsies, 1922. Okay? Mechanical stimulation will result from adjusting spinal segments causing massive stimulation. Proprio mechanical receptors firing into the sympathetic chain, inhibiting them from overstimulation of the viscera. Neurology, 2009, hyperactivity sympathetic intervention is a common factor in visceral disease. Okay, so is this, bottom line is you get sick here, what happens to you? As your spine gets sick there, I'm sorry. What happens to your organs? Which means what happens to you? You could build a practice just off of that, couldn't you? It doesn't even talk about headaches and menstrual and all that other stuff, right? Right here. Take an x-ray. My God, look at your thoracic, upper lumbar, and lower cervical. Oh my God, they're sick, you're dying, lay down on the table, you need to be there for the rest of your life in order to keep that healthy because your organs are going to die after that. That's it. There's your practice right there. Is that all the research that's out there? My God, there's a ton of stuff, right? I pulled this off the internet actually yesterday because I wanted to get exactly what it said. The sympathetic nerve, integrative interface between two super systems, the brain and the immune system. Because I had some stuff from Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy, great website. Free stuff. Dan Murphy, free stuff. The brain and the immune system are two major adaptive systems of the body. So we've got an important word there, which is what? Adaptive. Adaptive. Body's always trying to adapt. What tells it to adapt? Innate, right? Always leans towards wellness, right? It'll always sacrifice everything to keep the host healthy, right? System of the body. During an immune response, the brain and the immune system, look what they say. Talk to each other. Speak to each other, right? They talk to each other. What speaks to each other? The immune response and the brain talk to each other, and this process is essential for maintaining what? I mean, unbelievable, right? Read the green books in loops. I mean, just read it. These guys were talking in this term back in the early 1900s. They didn't even know about all the tracks that were going on. And these guys are writing about it like they just discovered it in 2002. It's kind of comical. I mean, I'm glad that they're doing this research. Increased sustained sympathetic tone is what? Immunosuppressant, right? New York State, along with other states, are licensed for chiropractic care because why? How did B.J. Palmer get us licensed in the state of New York? Because we helped with what? It's right on the bottom.
The flu.
Thank you. Very good, Francis. The flu. We were better at helping people that had the flu or preventing thousands of people from getting the flu. Documented fact, the research is there. You can pull it right up. By the thousands. By the thousands. I mean, it was a very small percent of people that had the flu had any type of mortality if they were on a regular chiropractic care. Amazing, amazing. Why? Because increased sympathetic tone, right? Overstimulation here was what? Immunosuppressant. So that's how people get better immune system. That's one way that people get better when you adjust them. Guess where the greatest degree of stimulation is? There you go, baby. Bombarded with mechanical and proprioreceptors, right? So you do upper cervical on those people. What was BJ focused on all the time? Upper cervical. Palmer method, right? HIO. Amazing. But now you've got this out of a scientific journal basically saying exactly what we're saying. The brain and the immune system, what do? Talk to each other. What do we say? They talk to each other. What have we been laughed at for years saying? They talk to each other. How does cracking somebody's neck help them with their immune system? The family doctor doesn't even know the neurology. I didn't know a lot of this stuff 10 years ago, to the point where I understood how it affected innate and chiropractic, even though I was seeing a ton of people. But that's what it's all about right here. So there's another way you can build your practice, just an immune response. Who has a challenged immune response? Everybody. But let's say they don't get that. So let's say a group of people out there that have a challenge that they physically know about it, which would be who? Cancer. Cancer patients. Can you say it scientifically that it's going to benefit their immune system? You maybe don't want to say you can cure their cancer. Is it good for them to get care? Can you say it scientifically? Can anyone question you? Sure they can, but what are you going to say? Well, right here. There's my copy. Exactly.
How about kids where they, the parents say, oh, well, they started daycare, so they're sick all the time now?
I'm still going to have a conversation with them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're the prime people who say, okay, their immune system's being challenged.
100%.
Yeah.
Your immune system's being challenged all the time, is what I tell people.
Yeah.
You're right. You know about your children's immune system being challenged all the time, whether they get sick or not. And by the time they're sick, how sick are they? Really sick. See, that's what the 0 to 10 pain scale, even though we're forced to do that, is that the stupidest thing in the world we've ever been taught? What's the number one killer in the United States disease? Heart disease. Number 2 is cancer, right? Well, how do you know that you're having heart disease without going to the medical doctor?
You die.
You're going to suffer what? Heart attacks. A Journal of Cardiology, 2007, I think it is. 60%, 62% of all people that suffer the first heart attack, it's what? Fatal. They thought they're okay because of the 0 to 10 pain scale, right?
Wake up dead.
Cancer, Journal of Oncology, 6 weeks the average length of time somebody lives before they're diagnosed with cancer. 6 weeks. All the people you don't hear about, the people that they open up, which is the majority of people, and they go, oh my God, it's all over your body. You know, this is why Dede was brilliant. See, what he thought about was like, you know, when you read it, he's like, why do you have 5 people in the family and 3 people get sick and 2 don't? How come you have a bunch of people working together and half the office gets sick and the other half doesn't? How do you get pneumonia in one lobe? How do you get a kidney infection in one kidney? How does that happen? That doesn't make sense. You know, he had the wonder of why. He started to ask those questions, right? And by asking those questions, he started with a healing profession that became a theology. And then we lost track of that for many reasons. I read some articles that said that they did that deliberately because the theology of chiropractic, the true philosophy of chiropractic, was hidden to allow us licensure and allow us to advance as a profession.